There we go. Hi, everybody. This is my first LP, Water Street. Came out in 1983 on Hog-Eye Records. My sister Ellen drew that picture. I'm recording Water Street again on this record that I'm making now. I have an album I'm working on called, it's in the can. We're doing a Kickstarter to raise funds. It's been successful, but I'll talk more about that. That's going to July 15th. This album, it spans 45 years of songwriting. And you might ask, why would I want to buy your old songs, Andrew? And the answer is because they're better now. They're different now too. This one used to be 5 verses, and it had the same melody for the verses and the chorus, and people did like it. There was a bit of magic to it, but I found it boring to play. And I don't anymore because I've learned some new tricks, even though I'm an old dog. This is Water Street. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. It's a pleasant street to walk by, starts at the edge of town. It's a pleasant street to walk by, the kind of street I don't walk down. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. Whiskey dogs my father's footstep, hot guilt blinds my mother's eye. I am weak and I am lonely, I have only one long try. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. Shines to the edge of Water Street, each remembered, none forgot. We are called from the end of Water Street, gather here and suffer not. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields. Someday I will walk down Water Street, far among the noble fields, far among the noble fields. Street, that particular Water Street. When I wrote it, I didn't know there were water streets everywhere. I didn't know. My mother went to Middlebury College to study French in summers of 65 through 69. So I was there for 5 summers, my impressionable youth, and had a great time there. My brother and sister, we'd run around the town. They had what was called payphones then. For you kids who don't know, they had payphones. You'd put 2 dimes in to make a phone call, or 1 dime. Anyway, there would be a coin return slot, and people wouldn't always remember to get their coins out of them. And you could go and you could sometimes score 2 dimes and get a Marvel comic and some Sugar Baby. Marvel comics were 12 cents. This song is more recent. When I determined to make this record, I was a full-time caregiver for my dad. And I knew I didn't want to drive into Chicago in these kind of 5-hour break windows I had when Iris would come and watch Ted from the European Service Agency in Lombard. And so I wrote to Howard Levy, who's now a world famous jazz artist. Our kids used to play together, and Howard actually played on my second record, Gates of Love, on a couple of songs. And so I was looking around for studios, and I wrote to him and I said, you know, any good studios in the western suburbs? And he's like, well, talk to my friend Jim Masseth at Crystal Recorders. And it hadn't shown up in a Google search, but there it was, 1.4 miles from my house. So planned a recording session, and I worked up actually 9 songs on the classical guitar for that. And I was very proud of myself because I didn't crack mentally during that session. But I had ragweed allergies and I couldn't sing over them. My voice was kind of blurry. It hadn't happened to me before in the fall. So I had to work the songs up again for the next month, and the arrangements kept changing and improving, and I had to keep relearning them. It was this wonderful refining process for the songs. And Water Street, it took on a little bit different character behind each verse and even each chorus. So October, again, I canceled because of ragweed allergies, and I thought, I'm going to wait till after the Christmas blues have passed. No, it was the next month, November. First week in November, I was ready again with the songs, and the engineer wrote he had COVID. So we pushed it back a week, and during which I got a cold. This is boring, I'm sorry. We rescheduled it for January 16th. And I got all the songs ready again. I waited till my Christmas blues had lifted. And I got another cold. I haven't caught many colds in the last few years. Anyway, really got to work in earnest in May and started to get some stuff down. And this is one of the songs that Howard Levy plays on 2 songs on the record, and this is one of them. And this is an elegy for the great Chicago songsmith James McCandless, who's a friend and a mentor to me and many of us. He was about maybe 15 years older than us. Maybe it was 10, I don't know. He was older, and he knew what he was doing. And he was very enthusiastic and supportive. People like me, Dan Byrne, Ryan Anderson, Frank Tedesco. He was at death's door. He had a kidney transplant, and he was in really bad health for about 15 years. But during his last 4 years, he made 3 brilliant recordings. Stunning stuff. So he finally He had 17 broken bones and diabetes, and he finally left the platform at 67. He had a song about being stuck on a platform called Platform, and the train won't come. Brilliant metaphor. So I wrote this for him, and I tried to capture a little bit of his sense of his melody in a song on his first album called Blood River. It's called Heavy Log. This is the most busy with instrumentation on the recording. Howard Levy harmonica, Eli Broxham plays bass, and Chris Falillo plays electric slide guitar. Sounds like a band. Heavy log rolled off the track, heavy log. Heavy log rolled off the track, heavy log. Heavy log rolled off the track, heavy enough to break your back. Heavy log, heavy log, lying on the ground, heavy log. Heavy log, lying on the ground, heavy log. Heavy log, lying on the ground, lying, waiting for the rains to come. Heavy log. Heavy log, ready to go, heavy log. Heavy log, ready to go, heavy log. Heavy log, ready to go, wade in the water, give with the flow. Heavy log. Heavy log, headed to sea, heavy log. Heavy log, ready, headed to sea, heavy log. Heavy log, headed to sea, rolling down the river in a reverie. Heavy log, heavy log, heavy log. I was trying to when I make records, I usually just sing and play at the same time. I was adding bass to that one. Thought I'd lay down a guitar track, and I was having a hard time with it. Laying down the guitar track. Jim Masseth, the engineer, said, work on it with a metronome at home. And that was an implacable teacher, the metronome, which ended up, I'm sort of a weed-grown wild musically. I never really played much with other people or drummer or anything like that. So I have half measures sticking out all over the place and lengthened phrases. And I mean, if you know what you're doing, that stuff can be very creative. But I do this one, which I hadn't listed, but this is a song that changed a bit in the phrasing from working with a metronome. This was also on my first album, and I actually tried recording it again, but I put a lot of work into the music and because I kept having to relearn these songs. I kept hearing more and more in them. And this one had a couple of, well, I looked at my original sheet, and the original, from when I first wrote it down, I keep a song file. It was in there under living in the breathing wind. And I've been singing for years. Think of all the seasons and the feelings and the moods. But that said, look at all the seasons and the feelings and the moods. Think of all the people. And it kind of picks up the sound of living when I get to that L later. I thought, should have kept that one. So look is back in. And then I had this line, verses, I'm not in any trouble, so I'm not in any hurry. I have no time to lose. I've got no time to lose, so I have no time to worry. For I have no choice, though I gamble odd or even. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. But the next verse I illustrate someone who does have a choice, which is just to walk away from the game altogether. So I thought, well, that line isn't true. I write these songs in a flurry, they come out in 45 minutes, and then it can take decades to fix a stray line. I hadn't really noticed that line wasn't right, but it isn't right. And it'll take me much longer, to find the line, but I finally got, for the game goes on, though I gamble odd or even. So these old songs are new again. And if I haven't mentioned it, I'm doing a Kickstarter. The project is called Different Now. It's listed in the comments here on my Facebook page. Anyway, if you go to Kickstarter and search for it, it's there. There's 20 original songs, and I'm proud of it. You can get if you just want a load of it, it's $12. There's different tiers and stuff. You know how it works. Look at all the seasons and the feelings and the moods. Think of all the people that our love affair includes. We are bound together like the morning and the evening. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. Some things happen that shouldn't, my child, like the snapping turtle snapping while the turtle killer smiled, and the sun went pale and the day was drained of meaning. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. Listen to the sound of the catbird's call. He sings just like a cat, but the cat won't sing at all. When you leave me, I will take my sorrow from your leaving. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. I am not the captain, nor the bosun, nor the crewman. In this ship's kind heart, I am a number and a human. Should my ship go down, I leave my love on land to grieve me. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. I'm not in any trouble, so I'm not in any hurry. I've got no time to lose, so I have no time to worry. For the game goes on, though I gamble odd or even. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. man had no cards to spread upon the table. One man turned his back and left the Tower of Babel. He spoke not a word, but his eyes were straight and even. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. Look at all the seasons and the feelings and the moods. Think of all the people that our love affair includes. We are bound together like the morning and the evening. We are bound together with the living and the breathing wind. Yeah. Thanks to Dr. Metronome for smoothing that one out. I bought this guitar to play on this record. I have a smaller guitar, which I'm going to play now because it's in another tuning. But I played this on the whole record. There's 3 songs in particular. The little guitar just didn't have the pop on that I wanted. So I indulged, and that is an Eastman guitar. I'm in love with it. My daughter Casey was going to sing, but she's been struggling with recovering from a injury, neck injury. So she's in the other room listening. You coming in, Casey? Probably not. We may get on again here, and when she's feeling better, do another little show. So my Kickstarter, I was going for cover the cost of manufacturing and a U.S. radio mailing. Postage for that, and we met the funding goal in a day. I do have a second goal, and it's very specific. There's nearly 3,000 in there. There's a fellow in Sweden who's a promoter, loves what they call Americana now, and he's excited about the album and wants to promote it in Europe. So I'm looking for another. Looking to get to about 4,500 for the thing. So if you can kick something into the Kickstarter, please do. If you can't, that's fine. What'd Casey say? Woohoo. Hold on 2 seconds. Casey, you up or not? Up for singing or not? Do the key.
King?
Sure.
Okay.
Casey's going to give it a go. Oh, you're fitting in there. Casey Calhoun.
Hi, Al.
Gentlemen. This one's called The King. A dusty attic room, the stillness of a tomb where someone else's memory gathers in the gloom, while out on the quay the water slapped at me, roared as if to say, we wash it all away. This is where the king calls me home. The king calls me home. This is where the king calls me home. Struggle was the lock and honor the key. Your sorrow's all a basket for the gift you bring to me. And everywhere you've been, we'll visit once again. with careless caroling and never want a thing. This is where the king calls me home. The king calls me home. This is where my king calls me home. A weed that never bloomed in the shadow of the eve stood up all afternoon, hung its head to grieve as one who born to violence, who couldn't beat the odds, has paid the price of cruel choice for all we little gods. This is where the king calls me home. My king calls me home. This is where my king calls me. I leave you where the spring in urchins trickling like magic through the wood sings anybody good, where every move away leads towards another day, where at your journey's end I find you whole again. This is where the king calls me home. My king calls me home. This is where the king calls me home. Look away, didn't you?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, great. Casey sings on this album on 3 songs.
Yes, I do.
That one and Deliver Me. Also rearranged and rewritten a little bit. And this one, which had not made it onto an album, newly recorded, there's a half dozen of those. Heavy Log is one. Grandfather's Time. Shadow of a Wing. Different Now, the title song. I can't remember. Renaissance Land. That's a good recent one. Inspired by reading Bury My Heart Out at Wounded Knee. This is Look Away. Excuse me. Everything is in tune on the recording. Born into a body, look away. Born into a body, look away. Born into a body that comes and goes with God. Born into a body, look away. Oh, the world is filled with sorrows, look away. Oh, the world is filled with sorrows, look away. The world is filled with sorrows, for we can't see what we are. The world is filled with sorrows, look away. Hear the rocks cry out in anguish, look away. Hear the rocks cry out in anguish, look away. Hear the rocks cry out in anguish in a long forgotten language. Hear the rocks cry out in anguish, look away. from the angry one within. Look away from the angry one within. Look away from the angry one within. The answer will begin from the angry one within. Look away from beyond, the help is coming. Look away from beyond, the help is coming. Look away from beyond, the help is coming.
Like a dancer to the drumming.
From beyond, the help is coming. Look away.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Happy Daughter's Day.
Well, thank you. Every day is Daughter's Day.
Every day is Daughter's Day. That's why I get a Happy Father's Day. In my family, my mother was like, I don't want to be celebrated for having a role. It's a Hallmark holiday. So we never had Mother's Day or Father's Day. I mean, my father wouldn't have cared if we ever celebrated any holiday. He was like, every day is amazing. He's a philosopher. And then, you know, I was amazed how much those days meant to people because I just didn't, it wasn't a reference point for me. But every year, Casey sends me a lovely, thoughtful note. Now, I've really come to like Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of you. And, you know, even if your father's a jerk, you got to be born, and that's probably a good thing, right? Yeah. Family is strong. Even if it's terrible, it's strong. Family is strong. So when people say, oh, that person's my family, I'm like, no, your family are the people you really have to deal with. They're not the people you choose. I don't like the cheapening of the language that way. Sorry, folks. I guess I've become old school here as I enter my older years. I'm 66 now. But yeah, the pandemic, my father's, I had to put him in a assisted living place 3 miles from here in March. I couldn't take care of him at home anymore. And so I'm freer to travel. I can go around and play some gigs. And it's actually well timed with the release of this recording, even though I didn't plan it that way. But I did plan, you know, even as the pandemic was ending and I was taking care of my father full time. I was scheming a return to the world with my songs, another shot at it. And I feel like the songs are they're polished up to a shine they maybe never had before. Some of that is from the last 9 years of studying the songs of Robert Burns and looking up the source tunes in the books he wrote from and studying the bass lines of those 18th century Scottish tunesmiths like James Oswald, William McGibbon, Robert Bremner. Gave me a whole different set of ideas to work with, and they've applied to the spirituals I do and my own songs and so on. So it's all rolling in. We should stop it. And I don't even know if I have this high note. I just thought we'd do a verse of Swing Low.
Okay.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing along, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing along, sweet coming for to carry me home. Swing along,
Swing low,
sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing along,
low,
sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home. Have a beautiful day. Thank you very much. Thanks to you who've already pledged to my Kickstarter. I'm deeply grateful. And you'll be getting your rewards soon.
Thank you.
Before heaven. Thanks.